Hi, I'm Miranda from Michigan, and this is my story. Please like and subscribe. When I was born, Mom and Dad were over the moon, but my brother Jamie was the happiest. Mom told me he wouldn't leave my side for a second and refused to let anyone hold me except him. Once when I was 4, I was sitting on a swing when an older boy pushed me and I landed in the mud.
Why did you do that? My new dress is all dirty now.
All the kids started laughing, and suddenly I started wheezing and had trouble breathing. Just then, Jamie came running and shoved an ice pop down the boy's shirt. He ran off screaming. "Are you okay, Miranda? What's happened to you?" He immediately rushed me home. My parents took me to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with asthma, and it got triggered every time I got stressed. Since that day, Jamie's life mission was to protect me from anything stressful. When we were little, I loved Jamie's overprotectiveness, but as I got older, it started annoying me, especially since Jamie made it clear to every boy in school that I was off limits. In 9th grade, when a boy finally asked me out, I was super excited, but just as I was sneaking out of the house, I bumped into Jamie.
"Where are you going dressed like that?"
"Who are you, my mother-in-law?"
"I told you to stay away from You'll end up miserable."
"Jamie, I know you think you're looking out for me, but it's getting really annoying." I slammed the door in his face and left. But my first date was awful. The guy was a new admission and he kept talking about his fancy old school. At one point, he started wailing loudly about how our school was a garbage dump and everyone here was so tacky. I walked out in the middle of our meal. But when I got home, I found Jamie waiting for me. I told him the date was amazing. I wasn't gonna tell him that it sucked. My friends thought having an older brother was awesome since I got to hang out with his best friend and our school's heartthrob, Sheldon. But I thought both of them were pigs. They talked about wearing the same underwear for days and held burping contests and made me the judge. Ew! And they were always getting into trouble at school for bunking classes and were even caught smoking once. They made me swear I wouldn't tell Mom. I had to keep their stupid secrets. But one afternoon when I got home, I saw Sheldon's car in our driveway, and he was cleaning its windshield with his t-shirt. I couldn't stop staring at his gorgeous, toned body.
"Like what you see, eh?"
Gosh, that was so embarrassing. I wasn't staring at you.
"Hey, wait. I wanted your friend's number. You know, the one with the curly hair."
And why would I give it to you? I know how you treat girls. You're a serial heartbreaker. Some girl is crying in the school bathroom every week over you.
Well, they just all fall for me too fast. It's creepy. And I haven't found the right one yet.
I don't know why, but the way he was looking at me was making my heart flutter. Luckily, Jamie came out just then, and I ran off to my room. The next day when I went to the school cafeteria, I was shocked to see Jamie and Sheldon talking to the guy who'd asked me out. The poor guy looked terrified. I was determined to give those two jerks a piece of my mind later, but as I was walking back from school, I saw a heavily pregnant woman on the roadside all alone, looking distressed. "Hey, are you okay?" She told me she was about to go into labor. I quickly called an ambulance, and even though I was kind of freaking out, I went with her. When we finally got to the hospital and she was admitted, it happened. My heart started racing and I had trouble breathing. I fumbled through my bag to find my inhaler when I saw Sheldon walk in. He took one look at me and quickly found my inhaler from my bag. When I finally calmed down, I realized I was in Sheldon's arms and he was gently patting my back. I felt a strange fluttering in my tummy. "This is Sheldon, for heaven's sake. You've known him since you wore pigtails to school. Why are you here?"
"My sister just had a baby girl. I'm an uncle now. Want to meet my niece?"
"Sure." I didn't know much about Sheldon's family. I knew his family was loaded, but he still spent more time at my home than his own. As soon as we entered his sister's room, I was shocked to see she was the same woman I'd helped. Sheldon couldn't thank me enough as he dropped me home. When we got there, Jamie was coming back from his evening run. Seeing him, I remembered he'd been bullying my date, and I felt so angry again. "Why do you keep poking your fat nose in my business, Jamie? You both break every rule, but you can't even let me date in peace?"
"What are you talking about?"
"Don't act innocent. I saw both of you talking to that poor guy in the cafeteria."
"Do you think it's my personal mission to keep you single? It's just that I know dating a jerk will stress you out."
"You know what? I think you stress me out more than anyone else. I don't think you care about me. You just want to control me." And with that, I ran to my room. A few minutes later, I heard a knock and Sheldon walked in.
That was unfair, Miranda. You know how much Jamie loves you.
But that doesn't give him the right to interfere in my personal life.
I know he can be a little overbearing, but trust me, you're lucky to have a family that cares about you so much. Not everyone has that.
Then suddenly he took my hand in his.
My dad's hardly ever home, and my stepmom can't wait to get rid of me. Why do you think I'm always here?
Does Jamie know about this?
Yeah, he never told you?
At that moment, I felt really proud of my brother. He was that kind of person who would never betray his friend's confidence. Just then, I realized my hand was still in Sheldon's.
Are you really into that cafeteria guy?
No, he's a complete moron.
Thank God. You know that rock band you love? They're having a concert this weekend. Jamie isn't interested, so would you like to go with me?
I'd love that. When I told Jamie about our plan, he didn't think too much about it since Sheldon was practically family. And I made an extra effort to get dressed that day. It didn't go unnoticed. When Sheldon came to pick me up, he gave a low whistle. Don't be a jerk, I'm not your girlfriend.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
What did that mean? We had a blast at the concert, and then went to a cafe since we were both starving.
Whoa, slow down, Tiger. Jamie would kill me if you choked on that burger. Wait, you've got mustard just there.
Oh, I can be messy.
Cute's more like it. You're nothing like the girls I've dated.
Because I don't wear makeup or because I'm eating too much?
I don't know. You're just different.
When we were going back home, Sheldon asked me if we could make a small stop on the way, and I was really surprised when we ended up in a nursing home. I followed him into a room where a weak-looking woman was lying in bed, but her face instantly lit up when she saw Sheldon. Sheldon stroked her hair and read to her until she dozed off. Then we gently tiptoed out of the room. Sheldon, was that your mom?
Yeah, but she doesn't actually recognize me as her son now. She's been unwell for a long time and lost her memories. I'm just a friend who comes to visit. It makes her happy.
I felt a lump in my throat thinking about how much Sheldon had to go through. When he dropped me at home, I was about to get out of the car when he stopped me.
Miranda, I have a small gift for you.
He took out a silver bracelet from his pocket with hearts hanging from it.
This was my mom's. I want you to have it now.
What? No, I can't take this.
Please, I insist. I know you're my best friend's little sister, but lately, I'm seeing you as so much more. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think I like you too, that way.
But there's one problem.
Jamie?
Yeah, he'd kill me if he gets to know about us.
Don't worry, he doesn't want me to date random guys, but I know he trusts you. We'll tell him when the time is right. With that, I leaned in and kissed Sheldon on his cheek. But when I entered the house, I found Jamie glaring at me like an angry bull.
I just saw you kissing that backstabber in the car.
What? He's your best friend. And yeah, we have feelings for each other. I thought because you know him so well, you'd actually be happy.
That's the problem, Miranda. I know Sheldon too well. He's never serious about any girl. I'm telling you, he's bad news. He's a fantastic friend, but a hardcore playboy.
But what we have is special, Jamie. He even gave me his mom's bracelet today.
The one with the hearts?
Suddenly, my heart sank.
Yeah, he gives them to all of his girlfriends. Don't be stupid, Miranda, and trust me on this. Sheldon will let you down.
With that, Jamie stormed off. But I knew he was wrong about this. Sheldon really cared for me. Jamie started avoiding me and Sheldon completely after that day. And anytime Sheldon tried to talk to him, he walked off angrily without listening to a word. Gosh, he's being so awful. But I really do hate seeing you two fight.
Don't worry about it. He has to come around. I know he will.
Being with Sheldon was amazing. But some weeks later, I was getting to see less and less of him because he always had football practice after school. And then one day, I walked into the school hallway to find Sheldon by the lockers talking to a blonde girl. He whispered something in her ear, and then he slid a bracelet on her wrist. What are you doing? Sheldon turned to me with a completely indifferent expression.
I was gonna tell you, I just didn't find the right time. I met Casey here at football practice. She's a cheerleader. I think we work better together.
You didn't find the right time to tell me?
Come on, Miranda. You know my history. I just think you like me more than I like you. Can you please not have an asthma attack right now? It's so melodramatic.
He stepped forward to take my inhaler out of my bag, and I slapped him hard. "You're such a jerk! Don't come near me!" I pulled out my inhaler as I ran to the bathroom in angry tears. How could I have been so wrong about Sheldon? And later at home, as I cried in my room, Jamie came and sat on my bed. "I guess you heard. Please, just whatever you say right now, don't say I told you so, because I just can't deal with—"
Sheldon and I got into a huge fight, and I told him to never come near you again. I'm sorry you're going through this.
"No, I'm sorry for not listening to you. I should have believed you." A week later, things were back to normal between me and Jamie, but I missed Sheldon. As pathetic as that sounded, I missed his silly banters with Jamie and his goofy smile. Heck, I was still wearing that stupid bracelet he gave me. That weekend, I was watching MSA videos and sulking in my room when Jamie walked in.
You're still crying over Sheldon?
Yes, I am, and it's your fault. You always treated me like some porcelain doll when you should have been my friend. Look at me now. I'm so bad at judging guys, and I dated 2 jerks.
But I told you to stay away from both.
And why would I listen when you're always telling me what I can do? And now, I don't think I'll ever fall in love again.
Wait, you loved Sheldon?
Of course I did, but he turned out to be a lying jerk. I hate myself for being stupid, and I hate you more for not letting me grow up. I was so mad that I threw the bracelet Sheldon gave me. Jamie picked it up, and suddenly looked like he'd seen a ghost.
Oh my God, Miranda, I messed up, big time. Sheldon told me the bracelet he gave you was really his mom's. He said something about her initials engraved inside.
Wait, I thought you two weren't talking. That's when Jamie told me that Sheldon had come to see him after the concert and had confessed his feelings for me. He didn't want to keep it a secret from Jamie.
I was so pissed at the both of you that I told him to back off or lose me as his friend forever. I kept refusing to listen to him. Miranda, I think he hurt you on purpose, just so you'd fall out of love with him. He did this because of me.
It all started making more sense now.
You must hate me.
Yeah, a bit, but not really, you doofus. You just have to stay out of my business now.
I promise.
Take me over to your stupid friend's place now. Jamie and I drove over as fast as we could to find Sheldon sitting outside in the garden by himself. I ran up to him, and before he could say anything, I punched his arm really hard.
Ow! Are you here to beat me up now?
Did you break up with me because you're just a big jerk, or because of Jamie? Because Jamie is okay with us being together, so tell me.
What? He is? Of course that's why I broke up with you. And I'm so sorry. I just felt like I was making you two hate each other, and Jamie was hating me, so I needed you to not like me anymore. I'm not dating anyone, Miranda, because I only want to date you. I love you.
I love you too, moron. Hey friends, I'm Vanya from Moldova. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small town to a single mom who made it big when she moved to the big city. Mom was an entrepreneur, and every business she'd start would become a gold mine. And Mom spoiled me rotten. I just had to look at something and she'd get it for me. For my 8th birthday, I asked her if I could have a bigger swimming pool. And she got a water park installed in her backyard. My friends and I went crazy when we saw it. Oh, my God, Mom! You're the best! Anything for you, love. And remember what the doctor said. Talk slowly and you won't stutter that much. Yeah, I used to stutter a lot when I was young. I mostly had it under control, but it could get worse when I was nervous or excited. But other than that, my life was perfect, and everyone wished they were me. That is, until the 10th grade when Mom's company stock crashed one day, and she was left with nothing. We were gonna lose our house. I decided to reach out to my friends for help, but that's when they all showed their true colors. So sorry, Vanya, but we're facing financial problems too. I want to help, but my dad works really hard, and I don't think he'll give your mom money. He always says she got rich by pure luck. Luck? My mom works really... Your mom works really hard? I don't think so, and Dad's right. Now go away, please. We don't have all day for you to finish your sentence. Gosh, people could change so fast. We did lose the house, and Mom decided to send me to her hometown to live with a friend for a while. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I agreed for her sake. By the time I landed at the airport, I was already homesick. But just then, I saw a boy my age holding a placard with my name. Hey, you must be here for me. Wow, it's really hot here. Wait, aren't you gonna pick up my bags?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Dimitri, and guess what? I'm not your servant, so pick them up yourself.
How rude! I carried my bags and followed him outside to find a donkey? Where's the car?
Gosh, you sound like a broken record. That's your ride, princess, so hop on.
That was my first time on a donkey cart. I didn't mind, but the entire way I felt like punching this boy Dimitri for making fun of me. Mom's friend was lovely though. She hugged me the moment she saw me and then took me to a tiny room. This is so cute. My cat has a room just like this.
I had to leave my room for this city brat? Look, if you don't like it, you can always sleep in the basement. It's got lots of space, and pets too. A family of rats.
What a jerk! I wouldn't have lasted a day there without his amazing mom, and I mostly tried to pretend he didn't exist. A week later, I started school, and surprisingly, I made friends instantly. But soon I discovered why. All the girls wanted to know what it was like living under the same roof as Dimitri. Not great, 'cause he's a moron. A handsome moron. A few days later, our school was having a football match and I volunteered as the water girl. Dimitri was team captain and all the girls were chanting his name. Jeez, so lame. Sure, he was handsome, but just a little. I was so busy looking at him that I didn't notice this player trying to catch a ball, and he crashed straight into me. Are you trying to kill me? Watch where you're going.
Great advice. I'll remember it for next time.
He just smiled like an idiot, and before running off, he winked at me. The next day, I saw the same player outside my school with a car full of roses. As soon as he spotted me, his silly smile was back.
Hey, beautiful. These are for you. By the way, I'm Nova.
Wow, that's a lot of roses. Thanks. Nova was on the football team of another school, but he just turned up outside every day to ask me out. I kept saying no, but he wasn't taking it. And then one day at home, I saw a car pull up outside with Nova in the back seat. He'd found out where I lived? But just then, I saw Dimitri's mom go to the car, and the driver stepped out, handed her an envelope, and left. What was that all about? Later, I asked Dimitri's mom, and she told me her husband used to work for Nova's dad. And even after he was gone, the family kept helping her with money. They were even paying for Dimitri's school. Wow, that made me see Nova in a different light. So the next time he asked me out, I said yes. When Nova picked me up for our first date, he said,
I was surprised this is where you live. How do you know these people?
I told him everything about why I'd moved here.
I'm sorry, that sounds tough. But just be careful of that Dimitri.
What do you mean?
Dimitri's dad worked for us and we'd play together as kids. But I always felt like he resented us, especially me. Like, he hates me because I was born rich and he wasn't. I'm sure he has nothing nice to say about me, even after everything my family does for him.
I didn't have trouble believing that. Dimitri was always mocking me too for being some rich brat. My date with Nova was totally unexpected. Instead of taking me to some fancy restaurant, he took me to a soup kitchen for the homeless, and we signed up as volunteers.
I always come here when I want to do something special. Feels good, doesn't it?
This boy was so sweet. When he dropped me back home, I found Dimitri on the porch.
Seriously? You're dating Nova? Did the rest of the male population die?
What's your problem? He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah. So where'd you go on a date? Was it an orphanage this time? Or a pet shelter to see some poor puppies? That's the kind of stuff he does on first dates to impress girls.
I don't expect you to understand what it means to be genuinely nice.
I didn't expect you to be this dumb. But hey, you surprised me. Actually, you guys deserve each other. Two spoiled brats.
Nova was right about him. He sounded so judgy and bitter. I started going out with Nova and was having a good time, but he was always too generous with fancy dinners and gifts, which made me uncomfortable. Nova, I wish you wouldn't. I can't give you gifts like these.
I'm not expecting anything, but I can spoil my girlfriend, can't I?
He gently kissed me for the first time, and I didn't exactly feel sparks, and I felt he was falling for me much too fast. The next morning, I didn't see Dimitri or his mom anywhere, and then I found them both in her room. She was in bed with a high fever. When we called the doctor, he said she'd caught some virus. He advised us to stay home from school for 2 weeks too. I really wanted to help in some way, so I made soup for her. I was carrying it up to her room when Dimitri stopped me.
What's that?
It's soup? Mom would give this to me when I was sick.
No thanks. You're not giving that to my mom. How would you know how to cook anything when you never had to lift a finger?
And suddenly, I snapped. Dimitri, can you just shut up for once? Yeah, I used to be rich. It's not a crime. And I'm not useless and spoiled. I pushed him aside and went up with the tray. Gosh, I was so sick of him. Later at night, there was a knock on my door and Dimitri peeked in.
I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have, but it's okay. I get that you're worried about your mom.
Yeah, but I haven't been very nice to you. I'll be better.
After that day, Dimitri and I kinda became friends. We took turns caring for his mom and doing household chores, and at night, we'd sit outside and talk for hours. He was sweet and simple, and was really starting to grow on me. 2 weeks flew by, and his mom recovered completely. One day, Dimitri was working in the garden while I was reading and observing how good he looked without a shirt on, when suddenly he spoke.
Hey, Vanya, can you check if the water's coming from the hose? I don't know if it's broken or...
Just as I picked it up, water came gushing straight at my face, and Dimitri was laughing like crazy.
Gosh, you are so easy to trick.
I picked up a handful of mud as he ran off. As I was chasing him, he tripped and fell, and then I rubbed the mud all over his face.
What are you doing to her, jerk?
Nova was about to attack Dimitri when I stopped him. Hey, we were just playing. I started it.
And why were you doing that? Did you forget I was picking you up for dinner? You're gonna tell her what she can and can't do now?
The boys looked ready to kill each other, so I dragged Nova aside and told him to wait in the car while I cleaned up. I had totally forgotten about dinner at his place. Nova lived in a mansion with his dad, who welcomed me warmly.
You're living with Dimitri and his mom, right? His father was a close friend of mine. Friend? Come on, Dad. He was our servant. Dad's really soft-hearted and likes helping people. Dimitri would have never gone to school if it weren't for him. And I'm glad I helped, because that boy is hardworking and will make something of himself, unlike some entitled rich kids I know.
Just then, his dad excused himself, and Nova flung his plate at the wall.
This is what happens every time I bring that jerk up. Dad has always liked Dimitri more than me.
I'm sure that's not true.
Don't think I'm blind or stupid. You like Dimitri more too, don't you? You've been avoiding me for 2 weeks just to spend more time with him.
Are you crazy? I told you his mom was unwell.
Liar.
I stared at him in shock, and he suddenly snapped out of his anger.
Vanya, I'm sorry.
I'd like to go home, please. With the driver. I felt shaken on my way back. Nova was turning out to be really strange. And at home, Dimitri was sitting in the kitchen with an unpleasant face.
You're back early.
Were you waiting for me?
Yeah, waiting to tell you that you're an idiot for dating Nova. He's fake and horrible. Why can't you see that? Are you blinded by his expensive gifts? Or too impressed by his fancy cars and mansion?
I was gonna tell him I was breaking up with Nova, but that made me so mad. There you are, back to being a jerk. Mind your own business, Dimitri, and don't talk to me. Dimitri and I stopped talking after that day, and I broke up with Nova too. He kept begging me to forgive him, but I held my ground. He was just too much. A few days later, Mom called me with the most amazing news. Her company was up and running again, and she wanted me to come home. I decided I'd leave right after the final exams the next week. There was nothing keeping me here anyway. After exam week, there was a big football match between our school and Nova's, and I made sure to sit far behind on the bleachers so he wouldn't spot me. The match was an intense one. Dimitri and Nova kept butting heads on the field and almost broke into a fight, but our team won by a large margin, and Nova stormed off the field furiously. Dimitri looked so happy, and I wanted to congratulate him. I thought I'd catch him outside the locker room, but I walked into the building to find two guys pinning him against the wall as Nova punched him. "Stop it, Nova! Don't hurt him!" Nova turned to me with crazy eyes.
Oh, how worried you are now. But you didn't care when you hurt me. I know you broke up with me because you have feelings for this worm. After all that money I spent on you, I thought because you were rich once, you'd have some class. But you're just cheap.
You're a psycho, and yeah, I like Dimitri a lot. Now I understand why your dad likes him better.
You'll pay for saying that. I'll make sure Dad stops giving them any money. I'll convince him, you'll see. No, you won't, Nova, because I've seen everything I needed to. And I am so disappointed in you.
We turned around to see Nova's dad, who'd come to see the match, and he looked furious. He grabbed Nova's arm and led him away. "Dimitri, are you okay? Your face."
I'm fine, Vanya.
"I should have listened to you about Nova."
No, I was unfair and mean to you, and I'm really sorry. About what you said back there, is it true?
"Which part?"
The part where you said you like me a lot?
"Yeah, I like you. Big deal."
Like me? Because I like you.
"I guess it's just you then." He grinned and pulled me in for a kiss, and it was perfect. And this is my... Hi, I'm Isabella from Tuscany, and this is my story. My parents were super wealthy, strict people who had everything, but they longed for a second child. I was born 5 years after my older sister Abigail, and my parents instantly fell in love with me. Abigail took one look at me and made a face.
What's the big deal? She looks like a potato.
A very cute potato. Look at those cute girls. Growing up, Abigail really hated how I was always the center of attention. When I started crawling, she pushed me under beds and sofas. She would hand me chocolate-coated peas and sprouts. On my 7th birthday, Mom and Dad got me a beautiful Barbie doll. I was so happy, but Abigail just couldn't stand my happiness. When I came back from school, my doll was ruined, and she had a friggin' mustache. I was about to cry, but seeing Abigail at the door, I saw red.
Abigail, I'll end you.
Why? I made it look so pretty.
Just like you.
That was it. I lunged at Abigail and pulled her hair. Mom and Dad came and pulled us apart, and as a punishment, Abigail had to give all of her toys to me. So I kinda won that one. Then when I turned 12, Abigail got her ears pierced, and Dad bought her giant diamond earrings to go with it. I wanted my ears pierced, but my parents refused. But I was determined to get them. I broke my piggy bank and got my ears pierced from the mall. Though I was grounded for a week and made to write an essay on disobedience because of it. Worth it! You're so careless and stubborn, Isabella. A few days after my 15th birthday, our cook came to see my parents. She wanted her daughter Mia to work for the family as a maid. She's lived most of her life in the village. I want her to go to a better school, but I don't have enough money. So I thought she could work here and help me. Please, give her a trial. She's really smart. Mia was my age and looked sweet. It would be awesome to have someone my age around the house. I can't believe I'm here. Finally, my life will get better. She told me that her life in the village was difficult and her dad was a jerk. We became close after that. Though she was assigned to organize my closet and pick up after me, she wasn't very good at it. But at school, teachers were impressed by her intelligence. She was a genius. And I hated studying, so I made a deal with her. Hey, listen, I hate school. What if you do my homework and I won't tell my parents how much you suck at cleaning? You got yourself a deal, bestie. This girl was amazing and treated me better than my own sister. But I guess Abigail was jealous because we were both so close. One day, she tried to warn me about Mia. Hey, you should set some boundaries with that maid. She's always snooping around in your room. Duh, of course she is. She has to clean it, so she has to be there. Mia is totally awesome. Ugh, whatever. One time at school, we were having a spring dance, and I was really hoping Zach, the hottest guy in my class, would ask me out. I have had a crush on him since kindergarten, and when he did, I felt over the moon. That day, Zach offered to walk me home, so here we are, your place. So, goodbye. Hey, Zach, wait. When he turned around, I rushed and kissed him on the cheek. He smiled and walked away. I felt like there were 1,000 butterflies in my stomach, but the moment I caught Mia grinning at the front door, my smile dropped.
You kissed a boy? Wow, I was wondering, can you set me up with his friend? I always wanted to have a boyfriend.
Shh, we are going out together. Just don't tell my parents or Abigail. You know how strict they are, and I can't just ask him if his friend needs a girlfriend. It doesn't work that way. Oh, yeah. And then Mia actually rolled her eyes at me and walked away. What was that attitude? Soon after that, I began to notice that my things were going missing. First, my favorite lipstick, then an expensive serum, and finally a Gucci backpack. I asked Mia if she'd seen it anywhere, but she said she hadn't.
Maybe you left it at a friend's house.
Come on, you can be pretty careless. Like the time you kissed a boy at your doorstep in broad daylight. Since the day she had seen me with Zach, Mia was being super weird. Sure, I could be a little careless, but I'd never misplaced anything in my life before, especially a whole frickin' backpack. On the day of the spring dance, I was getting ready, and that's when I noticed my favorite top was missing. Mia, have you seen my tweed top? The pink one? Yeah, have you? Why are you crying?
I'm so sorry, Isabella. I borrowed the top last week and I fell and it tore up along the side and I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. Please don't tell anyone or Mom will send me back to the village. I know you won't tell.
Look, I guard your secrets too. Like you kissing your boyfriend and how you make me do your homework. Remember? Are you, like, threatening me? Perhaps. I was shocked that Mia could go so low. After that day, Mia only got bolder. She kept taking my stuff without telling me. Not only was she taking full advantage of my things, she didn't clean my room either. She even told Mom that I trashed my room on purpose to make her do more work, and it was no shock that Mom believed her. Isabella, you're almost 16. Get your act together. Clean your room now. Ugh, I was so mad at Mia. I had been nothing but nice, and she'd taken advantage of me. I started cleaning my own room and locked it every day before I left for school. It was hard, but soon I got the hang of it. If it weren't for Zach, I would have gone crazy. The guy was like a ray of sunshine in my boring life. One time, we went out on a date, and Zach gave me the most precious gift ever, a set of pearl earrings. OMG, these are so pretty. Not prettier than you. Saying that, he kissed me. Zach was so perfect, and I was so in love with him. The next day, when I woke up, I felt sick. Mom and Dad took me to the doctor, and I learned I had some viral infection and needed complete bed rest. I was literally knocked out cold because of the meds and stayed in bed for days. But when I finally felt better, I tried calling Zach. His number was unreachable, and he had blocked me everywhere. He even changed his school. But he left me a message on Insta. Good luck with your new life. I am moving out of town because of Dad's work, but I'm sure you must be happy. When I tried to reply, I couldn't. What was that even about? I was sad for weeks. One day when I stepped into my room, I saw Mia in front of the mirror trying on the earrings. Hey, get those off. Zach gave those to me. For God's sake, stop touching my stuff. Zach, the same guy who royally dumped you, still hoping he'll come back to you? You are very naive. Here you go, your ugly earrings. I am so gonna tell Mom. Good luck convincing her. Your own family will never believe you. The careless liar of the family. She was right. She had Mom and Dad fooled. A few weeks later, I saw Abigail flaunting her new hair, and so I wanted to do the same. That's what girls do, change their hairstyle after a breakup. But when I asked Mom and Dad to let me have the treatment, they refused, saying I was too young. Well, they were wrong. I watched some YouTube videos of the treatment. It looked easy, but I didn't have enough money to afford it. I snuck into my mom's room and pulled out a credit card from her wallet. A few days later, my package arrived. I made sure everyone was busy before I set everything up. After hours of work, I took the towel off the mirror to look at my new and improved hair. What the heck? My hair was curlier than before and clung to my head like a furry cap. Abigail heard me scream and rushed into the room. Oh my God, what happened?
Oh, Abby, it went all wrong.
Calm down. Take a deep breath. How did this even happen? Yes, how did it? But one look at Mia's evil grin, and I had my answer. You witch. You did this. Why are you this way? What did I do to you? I was always nice and treated you well. It just annoys me to the core that a dumb witch like you is living this perfect life while someone like me is just a maid. You have a serious problem. You're so sick. I knew it was you who did this to me.
Me?
That's enough, Isabella. It's your own fault. I have the credit card receipts. I can't believe you've been stealing from us.
Oops, told you so.
You just wait, you witch. I'll expose you for who you really are. Best of luck. A few days later, we had a huge party at our place. I felt so sad that I couldn't attend because of my hair. But then I found a box near my bed. A beautiful wig was inside, from Abigail. I suddenly had tears in my eyes. Abigail had always loved me, no matter how much we fought. I quickly got ready, and as I was having some soda at the party, I spotted a familiar face. It was Zach. So, you finally showed your face.
I didn't want to come. My dad made me.
How could you leave me like that, Zach? Did I never mean anything to you?
I left you? Last time I checked, you dumped me because one of the jocks had gotten you pregnant. You told me to stay away because you wanted to be with him, whoever the jerk was. Where is he even?
Hearing his words, I felt the ground shake. Pregnant? Me? Seeing me shell-shocked, Zach realized I really had no idea what he was talking about. He then showed me Insta messages from me telling him to back off. Checking the dates, I realized they were sent when I was sick. And then it all clicked. By any chance, did you talk to my maid, Mia?
Actually, yeah. I called your number and she picked up and said you asked me not to call you ever again.
Oh my God! That psychopath witch! The moment I spotted her among the guests, acting as if she were some supermodel, I slapped her. Seeing Zach next to me, her eyes widened. You crazy evil psycho! You went too far this time. Our shouting attracted everyone from the party. Zach, you should be thanking me. I was saving you from this freak. Yeah, I told a small lie, but it was so worth it. I felt my cheeks turn red and I just wanted to hide. I had never been this humiliated, but before I could run, Abigail came forward and pushed Mia away from me.
How dare you treat my sister this way? Wait till you hear what she actually did.
Zach told Mom, Dad, and Abigail the whole lie Mia told, and they were stunned.
Mia, how could you do this? We thought you were a sensible young girl.
Sensible girl? I don't want to be a sensible poor girl. I'm too smart. No, I'm a genius. That's how I ruined your daughter's life. Yeah, I hacked your phone, Isabella, you dumb, useless girl, and sent Zach everything. Someone like him can't be with someone like you. I want your life. Why should I have to work for all the things I want? I won't be a loser like my mom. Don't talk to my mother that way. And calling your own mom a loser? Mia, you are pathetic. As if you could. Before she could even finish, someone grabbed Mia's arm. It was her mom. Mia, you are a disgrace. This family took you in, treated you as their own, and this is how you repay them. I'm sorry, Miss Isabella. My daughter is out of control. I knew she had some problems, but I never expected her to go this far.
Oh, Isabella, we're sorry, darling. We should have believed you. Mia, you are no longer welcome here. Get out, now.
Hearing this, Mia went completely bonkers and suddenly jumped over the tables and set the curtains on fire with some candles. You stupid rich people, treating poor people like trash. I hate you. You should all die. If I can't live this lifestyle, no one can. The fire instantly spread all across the house and everyone ran out screaming. I felt my feet glued to the floor, but thank God, Zach held my hand and dragged me out. Watching my house burn was a scene from a nightmare, but the main thing was that everyone was safe. Soon the fire brigade and the police came, and they took Mia away. I'm so glad you're okay, Isabella. I'm glad you're okay too. You were totally right about Mia being a psycho. I should have believed you. I kind of made your life a living hell when we were living together. So I don't blame you for not believing me. I was about to answer, but just then I felt someone's arms on my shoulders.
I am so sorry for ever doubting you. I can't believe I fell for those stupid lies. Isabella, I love you so much.
Shh, it's all in the past, Zach. I love you too. I always have.
Hi, I'm Ethan from Canada. Please, like and subscribe. Ever since I could remember, I lived with my uncle, who loved me like I was his own son, and I adored him too. He owned an auto company, and when I was 5, he took me to a showroom one day and showed me all the beautiful cars he owned. Can I drive this one, Uncle? One day you will, son, as soon as you're tall enough. I wanted to make my uncle proud of me, so I studied hard and always got straight A's. Uncle would be over the moon seeing my results, and he'd tell me that I'd take over his business one day. I was thrilled to hear that because I loved cars. But suddenly, everything changed in the 5th grade. My uncle introduced me to Giselle, a tall woman with a really long nose.
Aw, you must be the nephew. So cute.
She pinched my cheeks, and when my uncle wasn't looking, she smirked at me. I didn't like her at all, but my uncle seemed to love her because 2 months later, he married her. Giselle had a son my age, Jeremy, and he was the slowest boy I'd ever met. On his first day of school, Uncle and I were waiting for him to finish eating his cereal, and he took a minute to chew each Fruit Loop. We're gonna be late, can't you chew any faster? He then took the bowl and tried to drink down his cereal, but ended up messing his clothes.
Ethan, look what you made Jeremy do. Now you'll both be so late for school.
How is it my fault? Well, I can't wait any longer, so you take them to school, Giselle. I got to school 2 hours late that day. To make things worse, Jeremy was a real embarrassment. He sat in class with snot running down his nose and didn't even realize it till one of the mean boys in class saw him. Look everyone, the new guy has some disgusting goo on his face. The entire class burst out laughing. And then Jessica, one of the prettiest and richest girls in the school, handed Jeremy a tissue and frowned at the mean boy.
Why do you always have to be so rude? Leave the poor guy alone.
Later that day, I caught up with Jessica and thanked her for standing up for Jeremy.
I just don't understand mean people. It's so much easier to be kind.
Well, it's not easy for everyone. You're just one of the kindest people around.
Aw, thank you, Ethan.
She kissed my cheek and ran off. I liked her ever since we were little kids. So that kiss gave me butterflies in my tummy. As time went by, I found myself taking care of Jeremy like I was his babysitter, because Giselle kept asking me to help him. Like when we were in the 8th grade, Jeremy was failing his subjects miserably, and every day after school I had to tutor him, which wasn't easy. So when you're breaking down a sum, this is how you do it. Instead of listening to me, he'd be playing on his phone. Yeah. Can we please focus on homework right now? Oh yeah. What were you saying? He was a frustrating student, but I kept trying because I kind of felt sorry for him. Without some help, his future was doomed. But even though I made so much effort with Jeremy, Giselle never appreciated it and was always unpleasant with me. Like once at dinner, when I wanted a second helping of food, she looked at me like a—
You should feel lucky that you're even eating with us at the same table.
What's that supposed to mean?
You'll see one day.
She would speak in such riddles often, but always when Uncle wasn't around. And then one day in the 10th grade, I came home to the worst news ever. Giselle told me that Uncle had been arrested for fraud. I just didn't believe it. My uncle was no criminal. But apparently he'd been stealing money from its biggest investor, and he was sentenced to jail for 10 years. I wanted to see him, but Giselle said only she had visiting rights as his wife. I was devastated, but Giselle seemed over the moon. Just one day after Uncle's sentence, she invited her friends over and stayed up all night, laughing and dancing to loud music. And just 2 days later, I got back from school to find out she had moved all my stuff to the attic. Why did you do this?
That room was just too big for a boy like you. So Jeremy will be moving in there now.
I'm moving my stuff back.
Listen here, you poor rat. I'm in charge now, and what I say goes.
You're gonna pay for this. She laughed out like a witch, and then suddenly slipped and fell down a couple of stairs on her butt. I told you, you'll pay for this. I made myself comfortable in the attic, but as days passed, things got worse for me. I was no longer allowed to eat at the dinner table or watch TV in the lounge. Giselle fired our butler, saying it was too expensive to pay him. So she gave me and Jeremy chores, but I seemed to be the one doing all of them. Jeremy was still a weird guy, but he wasn't evil like his mom. One day, he brought me some dessert to the attic. I'm really sorry about the way my mom treats you. It's okay, bro. I won't live here forever. When I'm done with school, I'll leave and live my life. Giselle even stopped driving me to school, and Jeremy would roll down his car window and watch me walk till I was left far behind. I knew he felt bad, but I understood he wasn't strong enough to stand up for me. One day in 11th grade, I was walking to school when I noticed an old man fixing some broken down cars, and a sign next to him said that he was looking for a part-time assistant. Can I apply for this job? Oh, and what do you know about cars? Quite a lot. My uncle taught me everything. The old man tested me and was quite impressed by my knowledge. He hired me, and I was so happy because, of course, Giselle had stopped my allowance. One afternoon, he sent me to a rich man's house to fix his Ferrari. It was more like a palace. While I was fixing the car, I started getting hot, so I took off my shirt. Moments later, I heard giggling from behind a wall, and I peeked around and found Jessica there. Jessica, you live here?
Yes, this is my house. You fix cars?
She kept looking at my abs, and I could swear she was blushing slightly. Yeah, this is my part-time job.
Cool. You want to take a break and have a soda with me?
Yeah, that would be cool. I couldn't believe that I was at Jessica's house, hanging out with her. I had given up trying to speak with her ages ago because she was always surrounded by the most popular guys in school.
I don't see you much in school these days.
I'm usually at the library studying hard so that I can get a scholarship.
You haven't changed a bit. You're still the same sweet nerd boy.
Nerd boy?
I did say sweet too. Come on, I want to show you something.
She took me to a cottage at the back, which was a nursery for the plants and flowers.
This is what I love doing, being around nature.
Wow, this is amazing. But then suddenly, she screamed and practically jumped into my arms. What is it?
A lizard!
But that's part of nature, isn't it?
I only love plants, not creepy crawlies.
I laughed, picked up the lizard, and made it crawl away in a different direction. When I turned around, she was standing right behind me, and her face was so close to mine. My heart raced as I looked at her lips. But suddenly her dad called for her. As he saw us coming out of the cottage, he looked at me, sternly. I just couldn't stop thinking about Jessica. The next day when I saw her in school, my heart skipped a beat when she smiled at me. But then all of a sudden, Jeremy came up behind me. Hey, why is Jessica looking at you that way? I don't know, maybe she likes me. When I said that, Jeremy's expression changed. Well, that can't be, because I loved her since the day I joined this school. While Jeremy was talking about his feelings, Jessica suddenly approached me and asked if I'd help her with math during recess. I gladly said yes, but Jeremy glared at me like his mother. When I got home that day, Giselle called me to the living room. Her eyes were blazing.
Jeremy tells me you stole his girlfriend.
Who? Jessica? She's never been his girlfriend.
I hear that your father's very rich. You're thinking of getting your hands on that pot of gold.
Never been his girlfriend.
I hear that your father's very rich. You're thinking of getting your hands on that pot of gold, aren't you?
No, Giselle. Not everyone's a gold digger like you.
How dare you talk to me like that? You're grounded, and I forbid you to see this girl. As long as you live under my roof, you'll live by my rules.
This is not your roof. It's my uncle's. The next day, while I was with Jessica at recess, Jeremy came and told me to take off the shirt I was wearing because he'd given it to me and wanted it back now. I told him to buzz off, and then he pounced on me. But I was way stronger than him and pinned him down. Calm down, dude. This is not who you are. You are not a monster like your mother. Maybe I am. And don't talk about my mother that way. I let him go, and he stormed off furiously.
Hey, are you okay?
I leaned forward and kissed her. Now I think I'll be okay. Jessica and I started seeing each other more often, and I didn't care about how Jeremy and his mother treated me. Soon it was the end of 12th grade, and prom was around the corner. I decided to surprise Jessica by turning up at her place with some flowers and asking her out to prom. But when I got there, I was shocked to find her in the living room with her dad, along with Jeremy and Giselle. What are you guys doing here? The question is, boy, what are you doing here? I'm here to ask my girlfriend to prom, sir. Are you sure you're at the right house? Because my daughter just said yes to being Jeremy's fiancé. I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at Jessica, but she just looked back at me with a frozen face. I need to speak to you alone, Jessica.
There's no need, Ethan. You heard what my father said, and I agree. It's a good match. I think you should go now and leave me alone.
And then her dad had guards throw me out of their house. I was utterly heartbroken. She changed her mind about me because I was poor? As I laid awake that night, the attic door creaked open. It was Jeremy. So, how does it feel, Ethan? You always thought you were better than me, right? But look at me now. I'm the master of this house, and I own the heart of the girl you love. Before I could stop myself, I'd flown at Jeremy and punched his face. I obviously couldn't stay there anymore. So I took my savings and my things and left that very night. The old man I worked for let me stay at his garage for a few months, till I got into university on scholarship and left. A year later, as I was walking out of college campus, I was completely shocked to see Uncle standing outside. Oh my God, you're free! I missed you so much, Uncle! How come you never came to visit me, son? Giselle told me that I wasn't allowed. She was lying. I was in jail because of her. She framed me for fraud and had me thrown in jail. But my lawyers had found proof of her guilt, and soon, she will be behind bars. And so she was. It was the happiest day of my life when she got arrested, and Jeremy was sent off to live with relatives in another city. My uncle and I moved back to our house, and I continued with my engineering degree. And then one day, as I was fixing a car in Uncle's garage, I turned around to see Jessica walk in. Oh, it's you. Can I help you with anything?
Ethan, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're sorry now, because I'm rich.
No, it's not like that. Giselle threatened to do something bad to you if I didn't break up with you. I never meant to be with Jeremy, but I had to do something to drive you away from here.
What? Why didn't you just tell me this?
I was scared. For you.
She started crying, and I wrapped my arms around her and told her it was all over.
So do you think you can give me another chance?
Of course. I've loved you since forever, Jessica. You're the best person I know.